Willow Creek was the kind of neighborhood you saw in postcards or glossy lifestyle magazines, a quaint haven of charm nestled at the edge of a bustling city. Mature oak trees lined each street, their branches gracefully arching overhead, creating a comforting canopy. Elegant homes painted in soft shades of cream, lavender, and blue were punctuated by vibrant flowerbeds meticulously maintained by proud homeowners. Families often gathered at the local park, a lush green oasis filled with children's laughter, barbecues sizzling, and friendly conversations buzzing into twilight. Yet, despite the apparent harmony, one figure cast a shadow of tension over Willow Creek: Thompson, the formidable HOA president. Known for her impeccable attention to detail and relentless enforcement of community guidelines, Karen had developed a reputation that hovered between respect and fear. While some residents admired her unwavering standards, others resented her rigid approach. Karen's stern face rarely cracked into a smile, and her steely gaze was enough to make anyone swiftly correct their slightest infractions. But behind closed doors, Karen carried a heavy burden. Unknown to her neighbors, her unwavering strictness stemmed from deep-seated anxiety about the community's welfare. Having worked previously as a respected attorney before transitioning into her role at the HOA, Karen knew all too well how quickly neglect and oversight could spiral into disorder. Thus, she enforced every regulation with a vigilance that bordered on obsession, often at the expense of personal relationships. Little did Karen or the rest of Willow Creek realize that soon, her relentless dedication would become the community's greatest blessing. On an otherwise ordinary Wednesday evening, the sky darkened abruptly, casting eerie shadows over Willow Creek. Thick clouds rolled in rapidly, blocking out the comforting glow of the setting sun. Within moments, thunder reverberated through the streets, rattling windows and unsettling even the most relaxed residents. Fearful eyes peered from behind curtains as neighbors gathered indoors, sensing something profoundly dangerous was approaching. Suddenly, an emergency alert blared across TV screens and cell phones, warning of a rapidly intensifying hurricane headed directly toward the community. Families hurriedly secured belongings, locked doors, and retreated to safe rooms, bracing for impact. Karen herself moved quickly, double-checking the storm shutters on her house, anxiety gnawing at her nerves as the wind began to howl. What followed felt like an eternity of chaos. Wind gusts grew ferocious, hurling debris with alarming violence. Roof tiles tore away effortlessly, crashing onto streets below. Cars rocked and shifted, some even overturned. Majestic trees were ripped from the earth, roots dangling helplessly in the wind. The beloved community park, usually filled with joy, was now a scene of heartache. Its playground equipment twisted and shattered, benches uprooted and gardens ruined. As the storm finally passed, a devastated silence settled over Willow Creek. Karen emerged cautiously from her home, eyes wide in horror as she surveyed the widespread destruction. Everywhere she looked, neighbors stood stunned, hearts broken as they took in the unimaginable devastation of their beloved neighborhood. In the days following the hurricane, Willow Creek's residents grappled with the enormity of the disaster. Homes were battered, vehicles destroyed, and cherished possessions lost forever. Neighbors banded together, sharing resources and comforting each other. Karen tirelessly coordinated initial relief efforts, organizing volunteers to clear debris, distribute food, and assist families displaced by the storm. Exhausted but determined, she urged everyone to document their damages and contact their insurance providers promptly. With hope, the residents called their insurers, only to be blindsided by shocking responses. The insurance companies had quietly removed hurricane coverage from standard policies months prior, hiding the changes deep in fine print. The crushing news sent shockwaves through the already suffering community. Financial panic quickly spread. Families were now forced to choose between paying out of pocket for costly repairs or losing their homes altogether. Heartbroken parents struggled to explain the situation to their children, whose tears mirrored the desperation that enveloped Willow Creek. Furious discussions erupted at every corner, with residents feeling betrayed and powerless against the corporate greed that seemed intent on crushing their spirits. Karen felt the community's pain deeply, an unfamiliar sense of helplessness gnawing at her heart. She knew something drastic needed to be done, and fast. That night, Karen pulled open a rarely touched drawer in her home office, retrieving thick files filled with meticulous records. For years, the HOA had set aside a portion of membership fees into an emergency contingency fund. Initially criticized for what some called obsessive penny pinching, Karen had quietly protected these savings from being diverted elsewhere. Her meticulous nature and legal experience had guided her to invest the funds wisely, allowing them to accumulate into a significant financial safety net. With clarity and purpose renewed, Karen called an emergency meeting of the HOA board. Under dim lighting in the community center, she carefully explained her proposal. Initially met with skepticism, she calmly presented documents and projections, her voice steady and authoritative. "If this doesn't qualify as a genuine emergency, nothing ever will," she declared firmly. Gradually, the members understood her vision, their skepticism replaced by cautious hope. Karen swiftly mobilized resources, setting into motion a comprehensive plan to reimburse residents for repairs to their homes and vehicles. As news spread, the community felt the first sparks of relief. Grateful residents approached Karen, offering heartfelt thanks, their perception of her beginning to shift dramatically. Her usual cold demeanor softened as she accepted their gratitude, feeling for the first time in years that perhaps her unwavering rigidity had served a higher purpose. But Karen's fight wasn't finished. Determined to ensure the insurance company's deception would never harm anyone else, she meticulously compiled evidence of their manipulative practices. Drawing upon her legal expertise and former connections, Karen uncovered documentation of misleading communications and internal memos, exposing deliberate attempts to obscure policy changes from clients. Confident in her findings, she contacted prominent media outlets, expertly explaining the depth of the betrayal and its devastating impacts. When the story aired, outrage erupted nationwide. Public opinion swiftly turned against the insurance executives, their reputation irreparably tarnished. Faced with mounting pressure, the company was compelled to issue apologies and negotiate settlements with affected communities, including Willow Creek. Thanks to Karen's relentless efforts, insurance settlements flowed into Willow Creek, complementing the assistance already provided by the HOA's emergency fund. Residents rebuilt their homes stronger and safer, while businesses reopened with a newfound sense of resilience. Willow Creek was healing, both physically and emotionally, but more significantly, residents now saw Karen in an entirely new light. Once regarded as cold and inflexible, she had become a symbol of unwavering strength and compassion. As life returned to normal, a community event was organized in Karen's honor. The restored park, now more beautiful than ever, was decorated vibrantly, the aroma of barbecue mingling with laughter and cheerful music. As Karen approached, applause erupted spontaneously. Residents lined up to express their heartfelt thanks. Children handed her hand-drawn cards, and tears filled her usually stern eyes. Karen finally realized her meticulous nature and unwavering standards had always been about protecting those she cared deeply about. Deeply moved by her community's gratitude, Karen chose to remain HOA president, but embraced a gentler, more inclusive approach. Rules still existed, but flexibility and compassion became guiding principles. Meetings became friendlier, open dialogues flourished, and Willow Creek's residents felt genuinely heard and valued. The community thrived as never before, bound together by a shared resilience and deeper connections forged through adversity. Karen herself found joy and fulfillment she had never known possible. Once feared, she was now genuinely loved and respected. A true community hero whose leadership transformed a devastating disaster into an opportunity for unity, growth, and lasting change. Willow Creek emerged stronger, forever grateful to the woman who had once ruled with an iron fist, but whose compassion, courage, and selflessness had ultimately saved them all. Thanks for watching this incredible HOA story. Did Karen make the right choice this time? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more captivating stories. See you in the next video.